Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we are live with another thing here at the BC WrestlePod and syndication networking conglomeration thing we pretty much do every day of the week at this point now. And welcome to Dual Dynasty, everyone, your WWE review show here at the BC WrestlePod YouTube and Twitch channels. I am your host, Mikey, and joining me this morning, of course, is my lovely co-host and a friend to the channel. So we're going to go through those really quickly. First and foremost, surviving the warmth that is in California is first the professor. It is warm.
Man, it is awful up. The last day has been really nice, but like for a week we were all dying. Is Nick in a bunker? I mean, Nick's underground somewhere.
I'm in a darkness retreat.
You have a darkness retreat? Nick's
Justice
in the
for
shadows.
Chelsea Green. I'm not coming out until Chelsea Green wins a title.
That's kind of amazing. A darkness retreat would be better than like an ayahuasca retreat. I'm going to just sit here and do ayahuasca until Chelsea Green becomes a title holder. And then you just travel through time for 6 months.
The interesting storylines you could write, though.
It's quite good storylines, probably. Yeah.
Really could. And then, of course, our regular fam is the Kilt Man, who got... The way that you described SmackDown this week was amazing.
Yes. SmackDown. Usually I say it's either a letdown. This week it's a yap down because that's all they do. There's like 4 matches maybe, and it's just yap, 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 yap. A good match, yap, 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 yap. A somewhat good match, yap, 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 yap. A disqualification, yap, 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 yap. Then pipe bomb repeat, and yap.
We used to talk about this every now and then. It used to be all the time. Where we're sort of like, was this week? Was it a wrestling show? Or was it a soap opera? And this was kind of half and half, right? There was sort of bookends of soap opera, but then of course probably. Oh, I don't want to say what I want to say. I have some things to say about that promo at the end, but it was remarkable. But
it was pretty decent, especially calling out Nick Namath and all them.
Oh, great! And the internet has gone full conspiracy theory, and there's so many things to talk about. People I know who don't watch wrestling were texting me over the last 24 hours, going, "Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm catching up. I'm watching a lot of things this week. This is crazy." I agree with you though. Yeah, lots of talky.
Absolutely. And of course, joining us for a little bit this morning / afternoon, because it is the afternoon now where he currently resides. Friend to the channel, Nick is in the built-in. It's been a while since we've had you, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Yeah, I missed you guys. It's been a very, very long and troubling week externally for a lot of reasons. So you know that wrestling is our escape here. So I appreciate you having me on for a few minutes here, because this is a fun way to reconnect with you all, and I miss you all. So I haven't, Mikey, we talk, obviously a pretty good amount, but Professor Hiltman, I know periodically chime in with you guys. So always a pleasure to kind of.
All my Fridays have been trash. I've been trying to find time to make time to call you, but something keeps coming up. I'm gonna do it one of these days. I'm figuring.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, and we do the Sunday shows. For I guess next weekend with Night of Champions, we'll probably be back for the Sunday show.
Oh, cool.
So,
but yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Friend to the channel, friend to the homies. Like, we love having you, and you are forever welcome. We got a lot to talk about though. So if you like what you see on the screen, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch, follow us on the socials. If you just want to see our out of context clips and the report cards, we have merchandise as well. So we got a lot to discuss, because WWE this week had some good stuff, but it also left me with a lot of questions. And the biggest talking point we're going to talk about, where a certain match made for Saturday night's main event made me realize is like, I think I'd rather do something else that day. We'll get to it when we get there.
So, Nick, are you only here for 5 minutes, Nick?
Yeah, I figured I'd check in for 5, 10.
Okay,
a little bit. Yeah, we'll come for. I didn't know Mikey, and I messaged Mikey, and I'm like, last minute, like today, plans fell through. I'm like, Mikey, I know the door is never forbidden per se here, but I check in a little bit. I didn't want to derail your show. I know I derail things a lot, so I try.
I'm terrible too. Mikey, what do you? I want to get the most out of Nick. What do you want to start? What do you want to get Nick's feels on?
Please don't.
Yes, no, we need the most out of Nick while he's here. No, but we need someone influential besides us.
We were ready to talk about Ron killings and all kinds of stuff last week, because you just quickly dropped a mini pipe bomb and took off. We were like, no, I want to know what you say. What do you mean? In the chat.
Oh man, what did I say? Listen, Nikki holds me accountable for a lot of things after I have a few. so I don't remember which specifically are we talking about her?
Well, so sorry, Mikey, you're the host. Can I talk to Nick?
So, you know what? You got like a minute. Let's go.
But you got the same. I think you have the same things because we were all saying that the Ron Killings thing was a mistake. You were saying that it was a work and that it was all planned.
Yeah, I just think a lot of it makes a lot of sense, because again, the way that it came from his own Twitter account before things were released, like everything against the industry. Everything in one way or another is a work. Now there's works that become shoots that become works, right? Like we all see that all the time. Like even to some extent, like the Punk pipe bomb, right? Like from what was it, 14 years ago now? But I just felt the way it went down and his involvement. His last match was with John Cena. If you're gonna release, and again, I know there's been people that have had big matches, and you're like, oh man, they're released a week later. But usually there's something significant with that in the sense of external happenings, right? Like, and he also wasn't necessarily released. It was, they weren't renewing his contract, but the way that it came out, the messaging, and him at that moment having the match with Cena, it seemed like a good opportunity to this whole run for Cena is it's not really, to me, it's a nostalgia run to some extent, and you're going to get the heel Cena that everyone wanted to see. But just like I feel with Seth Rollins and this whole group, it's not about John Cena, it's not about Seth Rollins, it's about elevating somebody for the next generation, the next year, whatever it is. And in this process, who has he elevated to a main event level or to any other superstar level, right? We all predict maybe it'll be Cody that takes the belt off of Cena, but who can get something beneficial out of this to get to a whole other level that in 2026, right, that benefits from a feud with Cena? Maybe they don't go over, but the benefits from it. And he was the only one in the last 3 months that hasn't been a nostalgia act with him. So I mean, it's been nostalgia in the sense of but he's been keeping the John Cena story going on his own. But you had the Orton feud, right? You had a lot of already built-in storylines that don't benefit the future of the business. So there has to be, and Triple H is good with that, about having a forward-thinking mentality. And that's the only reason I came to that conclusion.
And Mikey, you thought Papa H messed it all up. I don't think both are exclusive, right? I do think there could be we misplayed or we misleveraged this sort of thing. Kill. This isn't formal.
I got something. So
yeah.
I have a way to blend this together for both perspectives. So basically, it wasn't initially a work. It was, hey, my contract's up. They didn't renew me. And then WWE was like, oh, well, because Nick Khan came out and said he messed this up and he had to fix it. So then it technically became a work because of the fact that it's like, oh, well, we see a situation here that can benefit us in the future for these storylines. And I've been saying since Cena turned heel that it should be R-Truth, Ron Killings coming after him and bringing him back to the light. And I think that would be a great. So far it's been a great rivalry. We'll get to that point on SmackDown where I really think it's hilariously fun. But it's been such a good positive for wrestling right now, and I'm actually thinking that this, as you said, Nick, it is trying to bring a new face to the front of the company, to the main event side of the company. Even though, and I don't mean face by in our normal face heel. Yeah, I mean just a person. It's bringing someone who benefits the most from this, and it's not already pre-established, as you said. And when it comes to rivalries and such and storylines, it gives us a new life to this drama.
And the other thing too is I totally agree, because and Nikki is doing the laundry behind me, so I'm gonna give her credit because she agrees it's a shoot that kind of worked, that morphed into a work. But to the same extent, I also feel when you talk about marketability, right? His time, if he was not getting renewed or everything else, you want to make he's 52, right? 52, 53. You want to make your last payday. It's going to be his last payday anywhere he goes, and maximize your exposure. So for him, just had a match with John Cena, right? I'm leaving, I'm endeared by the fans. He has that opportunity to go to TNA, and with the relationship that's going on, it's I don't know how contracts work out, but his value, he could have used all of that. Yeah, to the same point, maybe AEW is always interested in everybody. Listen, I signed a developmental deal 16 years ago with WWE, and I'm interested. Tony Khan reached out to me last week, but it's the same idea that I think he was driving up maybe his value, but and increasing interest, because he really has what was it, 20 years in TNA. He's got a great history there.
That's what I was gonna say, is he has such a I love two things, both of your points. Sorry, Mike, I don't mean to jump on this. There's this, I feel like it wasn't I don't think it was Cena handpicking, I want to do this for R-Truth, but I do think there was a degree of hey, I need to do something for the folks that have helped me over the last 20 plus years and done all these other things. So I do think there's an element of that underneath for sure. So hey, let's get Ron in here. Let's get some things happening. Let's get this stuff going. I do think I kind of agree with Mikey, we were talking last week, in that it was hey, the mistake was they let Ron Killings get ahead of the horse a little bit, right? They could have controlled that narrative, and they love to control the creative stuff, right? Him and Carlito went, oh, it's not happening? I'm going to get straight to my phone. When they're savvy, it's 2025. They should have been able to have offers or talk about this months ago. Hey, your contract's ending on these days. We want to talk to you. They didn't do that. They let the wrestler creative keep their own creative, right? and leveraged it correctly. Ron won. I say all that to say this. Carlito got buried. Carlito, we're not talking about now. We're wondering where the hell he went. But I do love the shift in Ron Killings is a genius. He's super, super smart. Making this more of an adversarial, this is me versus Cena, instead of the that's my hero, I'm going to bring my hero back. Now we have somewhere to go. Now it's far more interesting. And he made it dark. He's going on interviews this whole week talking about, how dare you tell me who I was and who I am? This is who I've always been. I'll always tell you the truth. Like we get to see this whole new side, which we kind of saw 15, 20 years ago, depending on the faction and what he was trying to do. But those are McMahon days where they wanted to cookie cutter him. Mikey, go. Mikey, go. Mikey, go. Mikey, go.
Yes, Mikey, go before I do, because I have something else.
Okay, so 100%. I love the conversation that's going to be had. We won't have to wait long for our next talking point, but let's get through the opening bits of SmackDown to get to said point, because I have
Raw?
Yeah, for Raw. Well, and SmackDown too. I have feelings on both things, but Raw is the first one we're going to talk about. So, very interestingly paced Raw, and we're going to talk about it briefly too, and the circumstances behind it. Nick, we in the chat, I briefly talked about it when you and Nikki were covering what happened with Liv. So I'm basically going to repeat my same points here, but let's just jump into it because we do.
You're making me sad on the Sunday, my New Jersey girl.
I know. Look, I'm disappointed too, and I'm sad because of what happened. However, people need to calm down, which we'll get to in a little bit. But we do open up with Liv and Dominic in the ring, and basically this is at this point in the show, we were teasing Liv and Io doing something, which I was like, cool. It gets Io back on my television screen. She's been gone for a little bit, so we're good here. In hindsight, this makes me even more sad to talk about because of what we would get later in the evening. But Liv wants to challenge Io for the championship. Io's like, bet, and then they fight. So there's nothing really too much to it, but this is what kicked off the show. Lots of Judgment Day stuff happening this episode. We're going to talk about everybody in a little bit. But this is what kicked things off. And then we immediately just jump straight into it where we have our final Queen of the Ring qualifying match to head to the quarterfinal, if you will.
Justice for Ivy Nile. Justice for Ivy Nile.
We've been saying this forever. Ivy's great. I want her to do something to substance. Here, so I said this before. I really like this match. This was fun. We got some more development between Rhea and Raquel and all that good stuff towards the tail end of things. Stephanie's fantastic. Ivy's fantastic. I love me some Asuka. I'm still of the mindset that they should have kept her return a secret like they did, for like a week before telling us Jay was going to be the final spot in the men's one. But they should have been like, and we have a mystery opponent. But no, they told us that Asuka was coming back. I will say, though, that she escaped the Death Rebel curse.
Oh, God.
She has her original theme music back. I was like, yes. I was like, woo. Love to see it. But this is a fun one. Raquel looks like she's going to win. Rhea pulls her out and, takes her out of the equation, which would allow Asuka to pin Raquel as she got thrown back into the ring. At least Ivy didn't get pinned, which made me a little bit happy, but even still. So Asuka is moving on to the semifinals, which would be happening on SmackDown this week. I like this match. This was fun. I'm happy that Asuka's back. I've missed her dearly. So, moving on. Xavier Woods.
Mikey, before you move on, I'm just curious. Like, first off, a little shocked at who went over here, but did you hear this report that Stephanie just did an interview like yesterday or the day before? But and you all know this way better than I do with her with CMLL and everything else, but that she worked as a heel for most of her career, and she's saying that this is like a breath of fresh air for her because she's never really worked as a face, and she's really enjoying this portion of her career as a face.
So that would be true. CMLL always does it differently because a lot of these folks will go back and forth depending on who they're fighting between the terms, which is, especially for the women's wrestler, the Amazonas Ruda, which is the word that is used for like your heel characters, and then the Técnicos, which are like your baby faces and the faces. So while Stephanie wasn't full, like Americanized heel, she was very CMLL heel versus American heel is completely different because American heel is very over the top, like twirling the mustache kind of bad guy kind of person.
Which I'm
in
learning the last 10 days. I've had myself a lesson, by the way. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah,
Mikey,
and then
I love that you say twirling the mustache heel.
Because American heels, to me, from a writing perspective, a lot of them are like over the top caricatures of what like the quintessential traits of like bad guys are.
It's Jim Carrey and Sonic the Hedgehog.
I mean, I love that. I love that comparison.
Paul Heyman, if Paul Heyman was a cartoon character, they would draw him with a mustache, putting people on train tracks. Like, that's what he'd be.
We love Paul Heyman. But
that is a great thing to challenge ChatGPT to do. Give me a minute.
Oh, no.
Snidely Whiplash as Paul Heyman.
Love it. But yes, in CMLL, Stephanie, while she was the Ruda, the bad guy, Rudas are more vicious in terms of like their intensity and how they wrestle. So a lot of the people that Stephanie wrestled before she made the jump to WWE were a lot of the technicos. So like the technicas of the Amazonas. So yeah, Stephanie has mostly been a Ruda for most of her career. And now, whether it be in Japan, Mexico, wherever, in South America too, but now she's like full on getting cheered, which is something that is new for her, and she likes it. So I was like,
and this is correct me if I'm wrong, Mikey, but this because she's had an interesting 3 or 4 years jumping from New Japan to AEW to here. When she was doing, we didn't see her a lot in AEW. She did a handful of matches. She entered how she normally did. The crowd went wild for her. And she wasn't sure what to do with the AEW crowds because, you know, Americans are thirsty. But at the same time, they were still all over it. Like, oh, my God, you're amazing. And you're a Latina tiefling. This is great. And then they just took it.
By the way, I saw the we're still talking about stuff, right? I saw the what's the Devil's Kiss performed last night in an indie event. Very
really?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know what? It's the spot. Everybody. Booker T, I blame Booker T for that one. I was like, Booker, I'm mad at you, but I also can't be mad at you at the same time because watching her and Lola do it live in person was like, oh, I understand. Still gonna respect them, but damn. Ooh, anyways. So, but yeah, Stephanie, I love this change for Stephanie because now it allows her to explore and being able to welcome in the cheer because Professor, to bring up your point too, because remember at Forbidden Door when she faced against Mercedes, who technically was the face in that match, Stephanie was trying to figure out how to react to the crowd because again, I'm not saying that WWE fans only watch WWE product and don't know anything else about the world. However, apostrophe, asterisk, if you will, I feel like at least the majority of outside WWE fans know of. And Forbidden Door, I think, is a very fun event to introduce people to other promotions, especially the international brands, if you don't watch international brands. But now that Stephanie's here, I'm excited for her. But yeah, this was a fun match for sure. All I have to say for this next one is Xavier Woods be keeping the pimp game strong. I'm like, what is happening?
He was on his way to the hater ball.
Speaking of so social media, oh my God, I remember that one. So social media, I love, sometimes trolls can be hysterical. So he posted an image like yesterday on like Instagram or whatever, and it's like him, I don't even know, on like a beach or something, but he put the WWE logos and covering up his feet for some reason. And then someone wrote in like, we've seen more than that, Xavier.
Yep, because they're calling back to the leaked, the leaked tape between him and Paige at the time, Saraya, which was wild.
Ugh, seriously.
This is crazy out here.
We all know who leaked that tape, Brad Maddox.
It was not to say, because I love that we're keeping things okay, but messy WWE back in the day was wild. The 2010s WWE was wild. And I am proud to say we survived all of that. It's crazy out here. But basically, the New Day reiterate that they feel that no Raw tag team is worthy enough to fight them for this championships. And I'm like, I kind of agree because Raw tag team division is kind of a mess right now. it hurts me. SmackDown, I'm gonna get on you in a little bit though, because I'm like, I understand the logic, but why? We're gonna get to them in a little bit because right now, Judgment Day shenanigans. Liv is upset at Raquel. Dominic is fighting Finn again. I'm like, just pull the trigger, y'all. We keep dragging this out. I'm like, when? Just when? And now, obviously, we're probably going to put a pause on all that with Liv out. I was like, who knows how we going to develop this storyline?
I think there's a route to do it because there's two angles, right? That you could pretend. Oh, I don't want to skip ahead, but like with Roxanne already in that group, you have the idea of like she can elevate with Raquel, right? The tag titles, or she can lose it and escalate that conflict. So you could go in either direction, and I think you could buy them enough time. The question is just how long is she out for?
Right. I hope so. I'm pretty sure we have. I don't think I've seen anything where it gives us an actual confirmation, but my best guesstimate, if I had to guess, I'm pretty sure Liv is out pretty much all the summer and maybe the beginning of fall, like September. I could see her returning mid-October, but she's definitely out for the summer, which makes me sad.
I had read that it is a slightly different situation with men and women based on collarbone and structure and whatnot. So when it happens to women, it's a little more severe. So yeah, it's anywhere from 4 to 6 months from what I was looking at.
Let me tell you, just bias from New Jersey, the pop she was going to get at SummerSlam here would have been amazing. Unreal. And that's why I think they need to find a way for her to be there. And it's just so, because SummerSlam to me this year, everything going on, this was her SummerSlam. This was her whole, like, it's like she probably would have gotten as big a pop, maybe even a bigger pop, I would argue, than Rhea Ripley did in Australia. I think it would be that big for her. The way that the year she's had and culminating at SummerSlam in her home state, her hometown, like literally, like she lives in, like she's from Bergen County, which is where MetLife Stadium is. Like she's like in like the shadows of MetLife Stadium. Yeah,
it breaks my little heart. Like freak accident, and she's gonna be missing that. That's crazy. But yeah, Liv's upset with Raquel. Dominic and Finn are not on the same page yet again. And so JD has a match later on, and so we're going to talk about you, JD McForehead, as I call you. He doesn't have a forehead; he has a 5 head.
It's almost a 5 ever head. It's almost as bad as mine.
That's true.
So I've been making this Goldberg joke for 3 years now on the podcast. And just sort of being like, you know who the surprise is going to be Goldberg. And our group chat's filled with Goldberg gifts because of me, all kinds of things.
It was fun when it wasn't a reality. But
and now it's real.
Here's the thing. I knew this was coming. I still don't like it.
I kind of knew because I remember the whole him calling out his family in the crowd thing. I remember that stuff. And then I kind of wasn't watching for a bit and whatever else. Well, before I say anything, I'll let you introduce the clip.
So Gunther comes out. He, he gives a quick little promo, talking about how he knew he was going to beat Jay. And I was just like, you know what? That's not what I was mad at. And before he can get further out, he gets interrupted by Goldberg. Goldberg comes in. I forgot to put the image, but there's a still of Gunther just looking kind to camera, breaking to the fourth wall with his eyes rolled back. It was like, this image describes how most of us feel. But
is he really? Is there him eye rolling this?
Oh my gosh, it is crazy. He's just like, but Goldberg challenges Gunther for a match, and then of course later in the evening we get it confirmed that at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, it is going to be Gunther versus Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship. WWE did confirm that this is Goldberg's retirement match. So here's the thing. I want to first say, WWE, we cover you every single week, and this is not going to make me not watch you. However, I'm not going to lie. This is the reason why we are switching what we're doing for a watch along that Saturday. I'm just going to leave it at that. Nick, I'm probably going to get crucified by the internet and some old school wrestling fans. Here's the thing, right? Goldberg, legend, right? Career, crazy. fun, sure. I don't want this. Nobody wants this. Well, I can't say nobody wants this. I personally don't want this, and I don't like this.
He's
Bret Hart
50
is special guest referee. Bret Hart is special guest
Now-
referee. Let's do it.
Absolutely right.
Now, if Brett is the guest special referee, I'm like, you know what? I might tune in for a little bit. But I'm just like, WWE can't be playing in my face. Here's the thing. So from a programming standpoint, right? You're trying whether they want to say it verbatim and verbally acknowledge it to everybody else. I was like, you guys are having these events to try to counter program what's happening in Texas from another company, right? Which is always going to be a thing. I'm not mad at that because competition is going to be competition. You're supposed to do competition like that. However, if you're trying to get people, and you know what, in WWE and TKO's mind, because they have such a bigger fan base and they've been around, well, forever, they're probably not too worried about it. But I was just like, y'all gotta stop playing in our faces out here because I want people to like and watch WWE, but it's when you do things like this that make it very hard for me to be like, I recommend watching this show. I'm gonna be super honest. If I tell people if you want to get a WWE right now, currently, Raw and SmackDown, I pick and choose some matches, but NXT. The crazy part is for me is I recommend NXT before I'll recommend Raw and SmackDown for people.
Stop. Pause. Everything. You need to show that email. Oh
Right.
my god. That is so good.
I just noticed what was in the background too, and then I was like, "That's really weird."
I don't know who that is or who that could be a reference to, but it's great.
Were we blessed by the internet gods? Did it work?
Nick blessed us very well.
Not me.
Eh,
I wish.
Well, ChatGPT, whatever. It has been blessed to us. And Mikey, oh my God, I have to derail because this is
Well, as
perfect.
Mikey does that, let's talk about Goldberg. First up, can I just say something?
I'm gonna download this picture.
I gotta
and
give-
put it up,
I gotta
y'all talk.
My wife her props because Mikey, I don't know if you caught this on Friday, but like the last image that you have with them talking, she's like, he just looks like he has bad breath.
He's also out of breath.
Oh, yeah, look at his face. Yeah, he's just like, I can't believe I've gotten here.
He literally got in the ring and he's just I'm like, dude, I know you've been conditioning, but it looks like you haven't been doing shit.
Well, guys,
Like, I'm more
60 yet. Yeah, like yeah. Like
Yeah.
say it, don't spray it.
basically. And I mentioned this to Mikey, and I sent him a message about it when I first saw it. I'm like, is it bad for me to say this smells like fucking Vince?
So I'm gonna jump off that because I think you're not
That's fair.
wrong, and I think the problem is you now have TKO, and I'll invoke this. You have a Saudi influence, you have a billionaire influence that want to run things kind of how Vince did, because Vince made money and they want big names and they want big folks, and if they're gonna get a whole demographic of folks who haven't watched wrestling in 20 years from other countries, they want big scary American guy on their screens and on the product. It doesn't matter that he's 56. He's probably in great shape. I'm not saying he can't go. Gunther's going to carry all of this to what end? Are you for what?
Professor, that's a phenomenal point because you know what I think about? Like wrestling's a lot like music, right? Like it's very similar in that aspect. Like they're all private, like independent contractors, like their own brand, and like I think a lot about this to that point. So in the early 2000s, I was playing hockey and I get sent over and we played in Japan. And in the early they were playing like 1990s, the original, like not pop punk, but what like Blink-182, like prior to Blink-182, like all those bands, right?
Sure.
Like the early 90s that were huge, and like Green Day, like that type stuff, like the original punk. And it's like that was huge at that point because like again, same thing like here, like what we get in the United States from like the UK pop scene or music scene or wherever, it's similar. Like same thing with wrestling. They've been way bigger overseas before they come here, and I think there's some component to that where, yeah, it's the external, and now with Netflix, the era that we're in, and that broader audience, you're talking to the Eastern audiences that maybe now are still picking up on those 90. Like, how many people do like on YouTube do watch-alongs from 1990s, like Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like
Huge.
That's the only thing that really it appeals. Yeah, it's gonna be rough though. Like it's gonna be a tough.
This is akin to sending Andre to Japan, Hulk to Japan in the Middle East with the Sheik, the stuff in the 80s. This is the same sort of. It's a name. It's big and scary. There's grandmothers in Riyadh who go Goldberg, like they know 2 English words. One's probably Goldberg, right? They know who that is, and they're like, oh my
God,
who's on Sunday? Do the voice again.
Goldberg. He's Goldberg. Everything's in Farsi, and they go Goldberg, right? When they see an American, they see him on screen, they know who that is.
Wait, Professor, you need to do it. Wait, we all need to just mute ourselves, and you need to do it clean so we can make it a drop. Mikey needs to make this a drop for your next preview.
All right, go ahead.
Goldberg.
I love it. Well,
it's Goldberg
because I got it.
Oh,
I got
it
it.
is.
I got
it. and like, if you imagine this guy saying Goldberg as he's saying it,
yes,
it's perfect.
Wait, put him back on the screen.
Okay.
We used to have a spot here. We haven't done it in a long time where it was Vince and his McMahon, and that's totally the voice that shows up here. I am doing this thing now. And I'm going to do this for you. My name's Paul Heyman. Oh,
I think if you say the Goldberg thing, it actually
Goldberg. Oh,
like,
that poor. Why is she tied?
I have the contract for Goldberg. This is Goldberg's contract for one match.
It's contract for Goldberg. I love that it's the Tiger Blood belt. That's kind of cool. I don't hate that.
I was trying to figure out. So
love this so much.
Phil, I was trying to figure out who was tied up in the back. I have no idea, or is that just the character of Snidely?
That's the original Bailey tied up back there.
Oh no, not the original Bailey.
Not the original Bailey.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I think that's a perfect way to drop out here.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Thanks for stopping by, Nick. We appreciate you.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Cheers. Bye, Nick. We'll miss you.
We'll call in.
I'll
Thank
be
you,
in
Nick.
the chat. I'll be in the chat. I just run
for sure.
Right. Pleasure, guys.
Kate, take care. Oh lordy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you guys, like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm about full transparency here, and I'm just like, this match made me just be like, you guys, I think we're gonna do a watch along for AEW All in Texas. Like, and going back to what I said about counter programming, I'm like, if you're gonna counter program another promotion having their big pay-per-view that same weekend, that same day on Saturday, give me something that makes me want to tune in for me.
Right.
This is for somebody. This is not for me.
NBC probably wanted it. There's probably folks in stiff shirts who wanted it. There's probably people who are still learning what wrestling is. This just reeks of old people to me. And I don't even mean that's bad. There's a part of me that wants to watch the train wreck this could be. But then again, every time I give into that, I see, Ric Flair's retirement match. I see the Edge and Gangrel thing happen. I see all these little, Adam Copeland. I see these little things happen. I'm like, no one's done it well ever. Ever.
You're part of the problem. I'm just kidding.
Ever. And I there's a lot of them I haven't watched. I've gotten better since I've been here. The last 3 years, we've talked to you and others have talked me out of don't watch.
We're
these
retraining you.
Yeah, because that's the theater in me, right? Oh, I want to see the spectacle of the thing. It's like, well, but now I'm supporting the thing, and they're going to do more of it. If you buy a Christmas tree in summer, everyone sells Christmas stuff by Halloween.
I still say we do my idea.
What's your idea?
My idea is it's like a live correspondent where we're from like during a commercial break of All in Texas to just some random person of just like, yeah, I'm here live. Just trying to be like it's just a goofy shit.
Just pop in. You're in the backstage area, and then you're just like, nah.
Just you can't even get in the arena. And you're just, I'm here backstage at a backstage I can't get into, and just talking about stuff that's going on there.
Talking about Saturday night's main event. Be like, well, I watched this, and Yeah.
This just happened, and oh my god, I don't hate that. That's actually kind of fun.
I agree. That's why I said I would be willing to do it because I'm the weirdest of us all. I just need to get the mic wrap for it.
That would be you just need all the gear. That actually
it would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, we love you too, Nick. Thank you for stopping by.
Love you, Nick. Thank you for coming by and causing mischief for 45 minutes.
Nick, I sent you something.
Yeah. We're going to add that into here at some point. I'm doing it this week and not going to say nothing killed. This is going to be amazing. But we're going to move on because I don't want to talk about this no more.
Yeah, we can move on.
So just for those of you watching, this match has made me switch from a Saturday night main event watch along to the All in Texas watch along. Sorry, WWE. This is not making me want to tune into Saturday night's main event. I will watch NXT's Great American Bash earlier in the afternoon before All in Texas, but that's about it.
Great American Bash has been amazing the last 3 years, so
can't wait. AJ Styles beat JD McDonough just cuz.
Good for him.
Nick, I speared through your plans. Don't work for me, brother.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not over for me, brother.
So AJ beats JD despite, trying to get interference from Judgment Day. Penta is like, nah, fam. Penta be fighting with everybody right now. So we're going to talk about you a little bit, Penta. But AJ beats JD. Nothing too crazy to write home about. So, yeah.
Penta. Sad Penta. Why is he sad, Penta?
Penta is just thinking about how he's going to dismember Braun and Bronson Reed and Seth because he wants revenge on them for those three attacking him 2 weeks ago. And he's just like, I'm plotting my revenge, y'all.
Fair.
So Penta with Kathy Kelly vows revenge. And I was like, Penta just be fighting everybody right now. And I'm here for it. Ooh, AJ will have a better match with Cena than CM Punk. Mark my words. I mean,
probably.
Yeah, probably.
That's an easy yes. That's an easy yes for me. Listen,
I want to see it though. I want to see it.
I know. We going. Was Penta's revenge start stealing Braun's jacket? That's exactly it. He stole Braun's Breaker's jacket.
He took that out of his locker because he hasn't been wearing it recently.
It's mine now. Penta, we love you so much. It's great. This was actually a really good back and forth between Becky and Bayley. Bayley comes out, she talks about not missing Mania, which, a lot of the internet was not happy that Bayley was missing Mania too. And she calls out Becky. Becky comes out and they kind of blur the line between scripted and real life stuff because Becky's whole argument is basically that Bayley is the good soldier. She is selfless. And in order to be a champion here in WWE, you need to become selfish and you need to step on some toes, step on some necks, and throw people down the stairs to get to where you need to, metaphorically speaking. Or if you're Darby Allin, get pushed down actual stairs. So I do like the back and forth. I understand where they're coming from. Nick, on the other hand, feels that this was awful. Reverse the roles. Becky sucks as a heel versus face, and Bayley is stale as a face. But we've kind of said the same thing. Yeah. I will say now, if we're going to make Bayley heel, she needs to channel what her and Sasha Banks did during the whole COVID era of heel Bayley, because that was pretty good. Damage Control heel Bayley was not it for us, and we talked at length about it.
We talked about that a lot. Bayley gets cardboard up there. And at least as face, she could be happy and laugh and be herself. Heel Bayley was cardboard. She couldn't do anything on commentary. She really struggled. And it's not even her fault. To the point where we were talking about, is she getting coached to do this? Is this a weird Dean Ambrose interview situation? What has happened to her? She just shuts down. I have not seen this. I've caught chunks of Raw. I did not see this promo, but I'm interested, but I do think they're kind of stuck with who's heel, who's face. They're really trying to go by the book, black and white. Who's heel, who's face, who's this? There's no question. And they're trying to shoehorn these two together.
I'm just let these two talk in general. Just let them go off the cuff, speak from the heart. I feel like it's more interesting that way. But yeah, the textbook stuff has been, And we talked about this too, Nick. Like initially, Bailey should have been the one to turn on Lyra, fake her own injury, turn at Mania, would have been given Lyra 2 feuds post Mania, put some respect on that IC title, which is great. When we get to SmackDown, we're going to talk about how I'm upset of where we're getting our Women's United States Championship match. I was just like, it's literally called Night of Champions. It was right there, but we'll get there when we get to SmackDown because let's get through the rest of Raw because we get it officially made. AJ will be facing Dom at Night of Champions for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Bailey versus Becky for the Women's Intercontinental Championship tomorrow night on Raw. Really showing that y'all don't want women's matches at Night of Champions, but I digress.
Come on.
Also, Nick Aldis was pulling double duty because he was GMing for Raw this evening, and then he had to GM his own show to SmackDown too. So I was like, Nick Aldis, bro, I hope they be paying you extra. Oh, this was so unfortunate. That's all I have to say.
This hurts.
This hurts. We talked about it.
We could talk this to death, but I don't. We're up against it, and we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I hope she's okay. Like I said, I didn't know that in women it's more severe. I always thought that it was. I didn't know that, so I read a little bit about that. Someone had posted. I'll find that if anyone's really. I don't know if it was Fightful or whatever else. When it happens to women, just based on collarbone and structure and whatever else, it's dangerous. It's like, oh man. So I'm hoping everything I looked at sports medicine wise was 4 to 6 months. I hope it's quicker than that. She deserves the New Jersey pop, like Nick was talking about. It was kind of
even if she's not wrestling, have her show up in
anything.
Because I think it's fair.
Get her the surgery quick. Get her in a sling. Get her out there to cut a promo. They deserve to see her.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of things, the people need to leave Kyrie alone. Stop calling her unsafe. That is not fair to Kyrie.
I watched it. I watched this. Nothing looked. Is there something they're calling on, or they just want to jump on another female wrestler?
Well, I mean, I think it's also that too, but also if you look at the history of things too, even though we did talk about it and have some qualms with Nia Jax before she got released and came back to the company too, of being unsafe as well. Notice how a lot of these times when we say, oh, women's wrestlers being unsafe is when it's a woman of color. It's kind of ironic, but you know, we don't have time to go into all that. That's a whole nother podcast topic. But this was a freak accident. Kyrie doesn't deserve the hate. Both of these women deserve the love and support because, you know, everybody.
It's bad when mommy comes out and says, hey, back the f off.
Rhea had to get up on the internet and be like, y'all need to chill the flip out.
For Liv Morgan.
Yeah. Because people were saying, and then on the flip side, Kyrie getting hate for being called unsafe, Liv getting hate and be like, good, I'm glad she's gone. I was like, no one deserves to be, you know, wish injury and death upon them, you guys. Like, what is wrong with you? But this was unfortunate. Speedy recovery to Liv, and Kyrie's taking it like a champ. We love you. And again, I talked about it with Nick on Friday, especially with Kyrie. I don't think it's going to because it's not to the level of what happened years ago, but we don't need a Hana Kimura situation where a wrestler takes their own life. So if you're not familiar with that situation, please go look it up. It is a cautionary tale of why we shouldn't be bullying our sports entertainment stars like this and things like that, because it was really bad. Yeah. But we move on from this. Karrion Kross, I love you so much, but they ain't doing much with you, and it makes me very sad. I really like this weird dynamic between Karrion and Sammy. Like, I could see this as a feud, but I know WWE won't give it to us, so I'm just like, and yeah, I'm gonna yell at WWE because I was just like, I understand why, but Sammy was right there, you guys. We did not need to have him lose on SmackDown, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But Sammy's done Karrion Kross playing the will they, won't they, devil on the shoulder thing, and Karrion is just reveling in it. I was just like, Karrion, I wish they used you better because I love you. We need to get you into a story or something. Like, this.
The only thing I know how to say is, and now, Keith.
Hey, I mean, you know what? It's everything that we wanted. We have a very, you know, pro-libertarian, for the people, white man Sami Zayn, and a Puerto Rican and Karrion Kross. I was like, this is the interracial couple of WWE we need. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, go for it.
Netflix, get on this series. But we move on from this because we do get our main event, which is the final men's King of the Ring qualifying match. This is Sheamus, Rusev, or Miro, however you want to call him. Rusev is what we're calling him now. Big Bronson Reed and the mystery man of Usi Juicy himself, Jey Uso. I mean, this was shenanigans running central. Like, we had everybody named Mama come out for this one. Jay ultimately picks up the victory here. Seth, Braun, and Reed begin to fight everybody. The Avengers come out. Cody comes out. Like, this is getting too crazy, y'all. But I
didn't watch this. How did Rusev look? They've hardly used him in the 2 months he's been back.
That's the other thing, too. I mean, I liked him in this match, but I'm just like, I don't know what y'all are waiting on. Like, what is happening? Give this man something. Are we waiting until SummerSlam? Are we waiting until after it? Like, because, yeah, he returned, and then I'm just like, we get vignettes, and then poof, like a magic trick. Then he's back in this match. I'm like, okay, same thing with Sheamus.
Even with this match, I saw more of Sheamus than I saw of Rusev. And then I saw more of Bronson than those two. It's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to miss Bronson. He's huge. But it's still, it's like, I don't even remember Rusev being in the ring for like more than a couple minutes. Like, every time I went through this one quickly because I was just like, all right, let me get caught up. And I'm like, I'm clipping. Where's Rusev? Where is he? He's supposed to be in this match, and he's gone.
Poof, like a magic trick. So Jay wins. We have everybody fighting. We won't talk about Jay when we get to SmackDown. So let's just jump into it because now we're in the Smacketh of Downs. SmackDown, I love y'all, but this was a very soap opera, centric episode of SmackDown, which normally I'm not mad at. But there was a lot of talking for this one. So let's go into it because we kick things off. LA Knight, I love you. Like, I don't know what WWE is doing with you. I still hold to the fact you should have won Money in the Bank, but it is what it is at this point. You always create the best memes, especially with Paul Heyman's voice crack.
It's been the last 3 years he should have won Money in the Bank. And we know that because the letdown, the 3 to 4 weeks after Money in the Bank, on how they don't use Money in the Bank, whoever it was, right? We saw Damian Priest got it. It took him a while to kind of get that up and running. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's kind of great that he's plugged into this. I love him going heads up with Paul Heyman because it was hilarious. Paul Heyman calling him Law for short was great. What are we doing with LA Knight? We've talked about this the last few weeks. He's just mid-card purgatory.
He's floating, and I don't understand why.
And that sucks. They're making him wait, and you could put him right in that wheelhouse. They might be waiting for when John Cena retires, and then we got that there. But then by then, he's probably 42, 43. He's still getting up there. You want to give him run at some time. This was a great way to start, but again, this is sort of the beginning of Yap Down. There's a lot of talkie after this.
Absolutely. So, LA, we're going to talk about you a little bit because, again, WWE this week, once again, and I'm going to be like Simon Miller, I'm going to start keeping account of DQ finishes. So, I was like, I thought we moved away from that, WWE, but whatever. I mean, this sets it up. Bronson's going to take on LA Knight later in the evening. Byron Saxton, I love you being the pot stirrer in this one, so good on you. Yo, this match was banging. I actually really liked this one. This was the Queen of the Ring semifinals. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. This match ruled. And I was just like, this is what I need every single week from any division in WWE right now. Like, just give me people who've been here for a little bit long enough and have them just go out there and wrestle. No shenanigans, no nothing. This was the cleanest match this week for WWE. This match ruled. This was my favorite.
This was great. They worked great together. I don't know what history they may have with each other, but this was a lot of fun. This was a great match.
Good match, no notes.
Yes, agreed. This is great. Asuka does pick up the victory, so Asuka will be heading to Saudi Arabia to the Queen of the Ring finals, and she is going to be facing either Roxanne or I'm trying to think who's Roxanne fighting. I forgot. Anyways, like there's so much going on in WWE right now. So the finals is going to be either Roxanne or it's going to be somebody else. So Asuka's moving on though. Alexa walks backstage. She's confronted by Chelsea Green and the Secret Hervis. Love them. Alexa's like, listen, Chelsea, you be running your mouth. So if you want to fight, let's go right now. And Chelsea's like, nah, we're good. And Charlotte's like, I did one better. I got a match with you because you keep running your mouth. So I'll see you in the ring later. Chelsea runs away with the Secret Hervis to try to come up with some holiday to get her out of having to be in this match. We love it. Alexa's like to tell Charlotte, look, I didn't need you to, stick up for me. And Charlotte's like, oh no, I did it. I did it for me. And then walked away. I'm just like, I know everybody's feelings about Charlotte Flair. I get I have a little qualms with how she's been booked because there's nothing outside of her character other than being a Flair and always being a champion and being the gold. However, I will say that if WWE plays their cards right here, I think this story with her and Alexa could actually do some good for Charlotte's character and give a little bit of more dimension than we see. It's going to take a little bit for me to get off that mindset, but I want to give this a chance because I do think that Charlotte deserves some nuance. And while I don't like her and how she's been presented so far, I'm not 100% against her. Girl has been through a lot. And also, I can't be mad at Charlotte, especially since she be helping our homegirl Shotzi after she got released recently too. So I'm like, anybody who helps Shotzi is automatically okay in my book for a little bit. And Alexa, I think, is fun to have her pair with Charlotte because these two also have a little bit of friendship outside of this. So I'm like, I want to give this a chance, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, my impulse is to write this off, but I did pump the brakes.
So
for all the reasons you said. For all the reasons
I want to give it a chance, but if WWE just plays in my face, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna write this off. But I'm gonna give it a chance because I think Charlotte deserves a little bit of some redemption and a little bit of a change. Alexa is always my girl, and so I think she deserves a chance. Now that she's back, I'm happy to see her. And Chelsea never misses for me. Love her. So we're gonna talk about their match a little bit later because I want these three in a faction so bad, you guys. I'm not even playing. Alistair, Damian, and Ron Killing somehow just make sense in my book.
The Black Killing Priest.
that metal band touring with Black Label Society. Fantastic.
That would go so hard. But Alistair confronts Ron and is kind of upset with Ron getting into his business and everybody's business. And then Damian's playing peacemaker out here. I was like, okay, talk to your friend. But I was just like, ooh, if you don't handle this, Damian, Alistair going to come for you. But low-key, I would be here for Damian versus Alistair in a feud. Not going to lie. Damian essentially plays the hype man for Ron. Be like, listen, handle your business with Cena and get this. Get him. Nobody likes him. Get him. I'm like, you go, Damian. So, Ron, we're going to talk about you when we get to our main event. The Avengers come out to talk in front of everybody. So Jay and Cody talk, that LA Knight not LA Knight, Sammy, Randy, everybody's in here. They make some really good points. And at this point, I was rooting for Sammy so hard because now it's time for him to finish his story. And I should have known better because this leads into the match between our semifinals for Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Sammy, I love you. You should have won here. I understand why Randy won, but it still makes me feel sad.
I was going to say the same thing, but carry on.
I get it. I do, because it's in Saudi. You're trying to make this money. But damn it, Sammy, you should have won. I don't care what nobody says. Sammy versus Cody or Sammy versus Jay is where my heart wants. It's so
and we
bad.
can talk about this. I thought Sammy wasn't allowed in Saudi because of things that he said about the regime and previously and stuff like that.
Well, initially, and then he was in Saudi, what was it, last year and the year before that with the whole bloodline storyline, but that's because he was able, for religious purposes, to go do the things that he needed to do. And so then, he was part of the show. I guess this year, maybe not, but I'm just like, Sammy, we could have had you. I understand why Randy went over, because Randy versus Cody is probably where we're going for the finals, which I was like, fine, whatever. But I'm like, Sammy versus Cody or Sammy versus Jay, storyline-wise, would have been such a cooler payoff to me, but I get it because it's not in the US or any other international brand because it's in Saudi Arabia. They gonna be booking stuff that's gonna make them money. So I'm like, fine, whatever. Match itself was pretty dope. I actually like this match. I just wish Sammy won is all. But yeah, Sammy, hopefully you'll get something.
No, yeah, and it was a great match too. I don't think anyone should use the Blue Thunder Bomb ever. No one should use it anymore.
Nobody wins unless you're
we've
Takeshita.
buried that move on all promotions. All promotions,
Takeshita's
including
the ol-
CMLL.
Yeah, Takeshita's the only person who kind of has gotten wins with the Blue Thunder. Not recently, but the most recent.
So anyway, this match was fun. They worked great together. I really, really enjoyed it. I love that. I will never get tired of RKOs coming from out of nowhere, but I didn't expect them within seconds of each other. Like,
It's wild.
Wait, what? So this was a lot of fun.
This definitely was. So, listen, I thought we closed this chapter, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I thought we closed the chapter on this when Tiffy beat Nia Jax months ago. So why are we running this back? Why are we running this back next Saturday, next Friday?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they needed something to do, and they just kind of did it. This was filler, and that's unfortunate.
The Naomi cash-in tease was fun, but Nia stopping her was also fun too. But which tells me I think Naomi might get involved in the last woman standing championship match next week. But
no, I just think we could have done that a little differently.
Yeah,
I think the way we played this back. Everybody went,
"Oh,
I don't care. I've heard this promo and I saw this. I saw this for like 6 months ago. What are we doing?"
And it's to no fault of Nia and Tiffany. I blame people.
I guess. No,
show.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not really their fault.
I'm more mad at booking than these two. These women are just doing what they're being asked of, and I'm just like, the match should be fun, but at the same time, I was like, nobody wanted this, and I feel so bad. Cause Io, I feel like of everybody post WrestleMania, Io and Tiffy have been getting the short end of the stick because we have not even seen them on television that often.
Yeah,
and they're not defending the titles. I was like, so what? They walked out of Mania as champions, and y'all don't have nothing for them. Okay,
right,
sure. Charlotte beats Chelsea in a very fun match. Chelsea and the Secret Hervis beat up Charlotte afterwards with Alexa coming in for the save. Alexa, tries to get a handshake from Charlotte, and Charlotte just walks past her. I was just like, will they coexist? Probably. But again, I want to give the story a chance. This was a fun match. I enjoyed this. Chelsea's great. Charlotte was great. Crowd was pretty decent with this. So, Alexa, I love you. No notes.
Yeah, this was fun.
I was like, give me this Charlotte. Where
I didn't hate this.
Yeah,
and I was gonna I was kind of rolling my eyes at first, but I thought this gives us something to do. Yeah,
I was like, I'm allowing for the Charlotte redemption story. That I'm gonna let it breathe until WWE plays in my face, because I think she deserves a chance. I don't want to be 100% hater, but okay, like this promo was actually pretty good. I like this. Solo actually had some good points, and Jacob Fatu. I don't know if they're giving him a script or not, or just let him go with it, but he is on the mic. He gonna eat everybody alive. But Solo, you actually kept up very, very well. And so this ultimately sets up Solo versus Jacob at Night of Champions. I'm like, damn, we're pulling the trigger on this match already. I thought we were gonna get it at SummerSlam, but okay.
Yeah, I think Solo's in a tough spot, career arc and narrative wise, because now it's just him and JC Mateo. And that's sort of, what does that mean? What do we do? Because now it's a matter of time before JC turns on Solo or whatever we have from that, right? So it's going to be Solo by himself, unless we get some big, huge bloodline reunification, whatever story.
Which is weird because, it becomes a 2-on-1 for Jacob towards the tail end of this, and then Jimmy of all people comes out to defend.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's sort of like, wait, what is happening? So I don't hate this. I think this promo was great. I just feel like Solo's floundering, and what kind of Solo are we seeing, and where are we going? It's not specific anymore. We had I am ruthless gangster ruler Solo. We had I'm goofy clown Solo. Now
I want more of Clown Solo, because his interactions at Money in the Bank were great.
After School Special Solo is a little sad, and it's not going to work with Fatu. It's fucking Jacob Fatu. He doesn't care.
He literally all gas, no brakes. Yeah, I mean, like,
yeah. So dude's hard. He's from that side of Sacramento. I know where he's from. So
God, I hope so,
Nicolay-
Nick.
Woo,
God, I hope
man.
so. We've been waiting for a whole year, man.
We're just gonna have the whole island fight. Just everybody. Just everybody.
Everybody come in.
I did enjoy this. I think it's interesting. I'm starting to feel we're starting to see Solo slip. It's like, you're gonna get stuck in the narrative. You're stuck in the narrative. They're not gonna know what to do with you. I hope they don't let him get buried there.
He's going to become Solo.
There you go. Yeah, a prequel. Nobody wants to see.
He's going to literally be Solo at when they're finally done trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the bloodline. Which
And he's just gonna do that
They
sad
can't figure
walk
it out.
like the Incredible Hulk. He's just gonna walk away with all the stuff on
Oh
him.
my
shoulder.
God.
He's gonna jump train to train forever. My name's Solo. I used to be a wrestler.
Oh my, that would be hilarious.
See, do that. That's fun. Do that.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing too, because we got the Gorilla Destinies coming in around something like this is. Yeah, there's a lot of Samoans playing around in this playground right now. So this we'll see what happens. We've reached the main event. Did we think this was gonna go any other way?
Okay.
No.
Okay, we got stuff to talk about.
So this match doesn't go that long. Ron technically wins by disqualification after Cena hits him with the belt. CM Punk comes out, and we have this scene right here. And then, okay, I feel like, okay, so then let's talk about the big point here, which was John Cena's version of a pipe bomb with Punk just laying in this ring through this Slim Jim table. God, I hate these advertisements on these things.
It's tough because now the camera. Okay, now we can unpack everything he said like a like a rhetoric nerd if we really wanted to. What's hard is I had a hard time taking this seriously because of the Slim Jim logo above CM Punk's head during the promo itself in a perfect camera shot commercial for the thing. Like, that's nuts. Like, come on. However, Cena going remarkably genuine and dropping truth bombs on CM Punk's head were pretty brutal.
Right. And I'm just, okay, so I have my notes here somewhere as I'm pulling these up. So there's a couple of big talking points that we need to talk about when it comes to this pipe bomb, right? So obviously Cena gets on the turnbuckle, and I mean, he's there. He positions himself. Basically, he's giving us what Punk did on the stage and everything. So we're going to break it down bit by bit, but Nick already chiming in that this is the best Cena has done since the heel turn. 100%. Great callback
100%.
and proper adjustment for the times. Loved it.
I was just gonna put that in the comments and say the same thing. Like, this was so good. I think Simon Miller and then someone on Fightful had said there's maybe 2 or 3 professional wrestlers across all promotions that could have pulled this off, and he absolutely did. Super genuine, made the right calls at the right time, has the history to lean on, right? Like, you need a certain mystique and sort of I was there to talk about what he's like. It was incredible. And if he did all this off the top of his head or like had spark notes or whatever, damn, that's impressive.
Right. So let's go through some of the talking points that I have in my notes right here, right? Because I made sure to type this out so we could talk about this. So there's a couple of things that we do want to talk about. So John Cena dropping his own version of a pipe bomb with Punk laying in the middle of the ring is kind of crazy. So one of the talking points that I actually really like that Cena said is that I hate this idea that you're the best in the world. You're not. You're better than me at one thing. You're the best bullshitter in the world. I was like, ooh. And then goes into that, he is Mr. TKO, Mr. Money Capitalism, all this stuff. And I was just like, ooh. But then he Cena gets into it. He's like, hey, Stu, I'm breaking the fourth wall. And it's just like, you change your values as much as I change my t-shirts. I was just like, oh my God. But then the thing that everybody is micro-analyzing, John Cena like looks dead in the camera, breaking the fourth wall, is just like, hi, Claudio. Hi, Nick Nemeth. Hi, Matt Cardona. I was just like, oh my God. So there are two trains of thoughts really quick before I let you talk, Kilt. One is just those wrestlers that have gone on record saying that Punk kind of stepped on them to get ahead. So those are the things. So that's Matt Cardona, Nick Nemeth, and Claudio Castagnoli, formerly known as Cesaro in WWE. But also there's a lot of people saying that this was a subtle nod calling out Nicholas and Matthew Jackson and everybody over in AEW too, which is kind of nuts. However you want, whatever your lane of thought is, either one is crazy to think about. So, Kelton, now you have the floor. What did you want to say, my friend?
Well, I go. First, it's going to be it's a side thing about Matt Cardona, because I saw this bit on TikTok first before I got the chance to watch Yap Down. It literally went this promo of him calling out those three people, and then like two or three video TikToks later, it was Matt Cardona trying to serve a notice to Shotzi.
So good.
I'm like, oh my God. Because I didn't realize who it was who I was watching. I saw Shotzi. I'm like, oh yeah. And then like, wait, Matt Cardona. Oh, cool. But anyway, the only thing that really, besides that I have negative notes about is CM Punk just laying there trying to look hurt while almost falling asleep.
He's taking a nap in the middle of the ring. I mean,
it's like, I gotta look hurt.
That's tough. That's hard, especially when Cena's actively trying to make him break and get him to react. And
he's in there monologuing. And I'm like, come on, dude, you're not a supervillain.
Something that was sent to me this morning before BC WrestlePod on my other group chat from friends who are just getting back into wrestling is this Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit C of John Cena as friends with, there's Claudio visiting him in the hospital. Like all these people who Cena was close to and then calling them out, knowing that it is alleged that Punk squashed them and held them back at certain times or wasn't kind to them, which is wild to me. I heard the nod to AEW that's the conspiracy theory on the other end, that he meant to say these names but wanted to say those names. It's hard. I mean, this goes on. This is about 12 minutes of him just sitting there talking, maybe even longer.
Yeah, well, and Cena calls out the fourth wall, but he calls out USA Network too when he closes it out. Because he's like, hey, USA, which is the USA Network, you can keep your extra 2.5 minutes. I don't need a bomb. Elvis has left the motherfucking building.
Yes, that was so good. Calling him a capitalist, saying, you're no punk, you're a capitalist, you're a millionaire. Like, oh, like all these things that we were saying in the group chat. Like, it's sort of like, what's crazy about this promo to me, it's on my promos of the year list. My list has been sporadic because I wasn't watching for a little while, but this made my promos of the year. And the only one who's going to top it is probably Toni Storm, because I'm sure she's going to come up with something in the last 6 months.
Her collision promo last night was baller against Mercedes.
That made the rounds this morning too. So I don't know who's topping Toni Storm and John Cena in my head, but we'll see.
Yes.
The fact that I forgot what I was going to say, and it was so good. It was good. I forgot. Mikey, keep going. I forgot.
So yeah, this is the heel Cena that I feel like, while I was giving what we've gotten so far a chance, but I also had some critiques. This is the Cena that this is the Cena that should have been happening from the heel turn. This is not whatever he's been doing before. The heel Cena we need is the one that talk his shit. Like, that's the one I've been waiting for. And finally, I think we're slowly getting it. And I think, and even whether he was face or heel, one of Cena's best qualities that we always talk about is that his mic skills. And so now his mic skills are backing up the heel persona that he's been doing. So
you reminded me. Thank you for saying what you were saying. He flipped the crowd. Did you hear him? He flipped the crowd. They hated him. The last 5 minutes of this, they loved him. He was so good at this promo. I think he messed up the storyline. Now they got to have a real conversation about who is who and what is what going into this. CM Punk, I'm sure he can figure it out. I've warmed up to him over the years. I do like a lot of things about him. Some other things are question marks. Fine. They got to figure out what they're going to do. Because Cena dropped. This is a heavy pivot. The crowd is now going, yeah, we like Cena. Cena was right. Because now he's been telling truthful promos this whole time. You used me, you watched me, you used me to raise your kids. And now he drops this other truth bomb. People are coming. I mean, I would hate to be creative in the room right now and go, okay, what do we do? How do we? This is going to pivot again. Woof.
And I'm just like, you know what? Let it. I think so. This is going to be fun. Again, we're not doing a full review of Night of Champions, but I will be giving my thoughts next week when we could talk about Raw and SmackDown. So this is going to be interesting. But I was just like, finally, I think we're finally getting somewhere with the Cena. And I feel like him talking his mess on the mic is what was missing this whole time. But now we have it. So that brings us to the end of our WWE review for the week. But we are not quite done yet. So we're going to spend the next couple of minutes. I'm sending this now.
Oh, so no. The pop quiz. Damn it.
Pop quiz time. This one's going to be really easy for us to do, though. I'm not even going to lie. Because right now we only have 3 matches. So we're going to do our predictions for Night of Champions, where there's only 3 matches announced so far. And given everything that has happened within the last 24 hours, who knows if Night of Champions is still going to go full steam ahead. But we'll see what happens with all of that. So.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's do this quickly because I don't want to spend too much time on this. So Night of Champions is happening this Saturday in the morning. We will not be doing a full review, but we are still counting this for predictions. So let's just get into it really quickly. I feel like this is going to be easy for all of us. So first up, we have Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to be so for real. I love AJ. I do not see Dominic losing this, so I'm going with Dominic to retain.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool for AJ to win it there because that's another big name that's right up there with Goldberg. AJ Styles. Like I think there's a grandma who knows that name. I don't think Dominic's not going to have it for 6 weeks and then lose it though. There's no way. So I do think it's Dominic.
Yeah. So I feel like this pay-per-view is really easy to predict. Not even going to lie. So. We got Dominic. Next matchup is for the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa challenging Jacob Fatu. I got all gas, no brakes. So Jacob Fatu retaining here. I'm like, it would be a crime to take it away from him right now.
Yeah, same. Although I don't put it past them to do it because that would be some shady shit. And of course, they want to do champions. But I think Fatu keeps this.
I think so. I feel like he needs to. And then John Cena versus CM Punk for the undisputed WWE World Championship. I think Punk would do some verbal SmackDown talk this week. I still have Cena retaining here. I don't think Cena's losing this thing at Night of Champions.
I don't think on Night of Champions any title is swapping.
No,
which is weird, right? Because in my head it should, but
and then if we're talking about Night of Champions from like the old school days of wrestling too, Night of Champions is where every single championship was on the line. Now, granted, there's a lot of them, so we can't fit them all. But I'm like, so what other 2 matches are going to be on here? Because SmackDown's going to have Zelina versus Julia for the Women's U.S. Championship. And I was like, where was Julia this SmackDown? Which was crazy.
Sure, yeah.
We are getting the Profits versus the Wyatt Six for the tag titles at SmackDown. And I'm like, where was this development this week? And then we're getting Tiffy versus Nia in a last woman standing match just because I'm like, you have 3 championships on the SmackDown Go Home show in Saudi, but y'all couldn't have put that on the card. So then what are we getting then? I don't know. WWE is whacked. I said this with Money in the Bank where they last minute added Dominic versus Octagon Jr. and that was like a 4-minute squash match essentially. Like, don't waste my time. But yeah, I got Cena retaining. I think we all agree Cena's retaining. So That's all we have right now for Night of Champions. Who
Yeah.
knows what else we gonna add this week? This is Night of Champions to me is like, I know people are gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not reviewing it. So I was just
There's
like,
gonna
whatever.
be. I'm kind of calling my shot. I think there's gonna be 6 days of meh stuff, right, for Night of Champions, and they're gonna throw some matches in there so that some titles can move somewhere somehow. Because they're gonna want to have new champion whatevers, right? They're gonna want to do it. I just don't know where you pull them from. I don't think you pull them from these 3. I don't know what's happening over on Raw, but nothing on Raw makes sense either. So
Raw is all over the place right now too. Gee, man, I heard y'all were huge Goldberg.
It's Goldberg. Goldberg is back.
It's crazy.
I don't know about Goldberg, man. He's 58. I just don't want him to get hurt. Gunther's gonna have to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
He's already hurt. That's the problem.
Goldberg's already hurt?
He has a messed up knee. He has a messed up shoulder.
Oh, sure.
He can't run. He literally cannot run. He has to walk.
He has some stuff fused too, doesn't he? He has a handful
think
of
so,
things in
yeah.
there. I think Goldberg really wants to sponge away the Undertaker botch scenario thing, even though he was against wrestling ever again because he got trolled so much after that. Gunther's a professional. I hope Gunther's. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too positive.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean,
Damn.
Somebody here, probably Kilt, is going to be our Saturday night's main event correspondent when that's going down, because myself and JVL and maybe Professor, if he can join us, the AEW crew will be doing All in Texas watch along. I was just like, we were going to do Saturday night's main event, but Goldberg versus Gunther being announced has turned me off on doing one so bad. I was like, I think we're going to give AEW our time and see if that equally makes us mad with who ends up being champion.
I'll say it like this. I hope I regret missing it. I hope it's amazing. I hope something spectacular happens and it's 1998 Goldberg against the immortal Gunther. I hope it is.
Probably not, though. But you know what? Kilt is going to be on, be watching it for us, and he'll chime in ever so often between our breaks during the All in Texas watch through.
It'd be great if Kilt jumps in and goes, "You guys, you missed a banger," and I don't know.
Ooh,
I do have
with something fun. You want Oba Femi versus Gunther would slap? Yes. Go for it, Kilt.
Now, do we want me to get a triangle or a square microphone flag? Because that's what they're called. They're called flags.
Are you actually getting a flag?
I'm literally looking at it right now.
Oh my God. I think for the spirit of Saturday night's main event of the past, you should get the square.
Get the square one?
Yeah.
They're the same price. That's the only reason why I ask.
Ah, gotcha.
But yeah, I can do that.
We'd love to see it. But that's going to be it for us here at Dual Dynasty. Nick derailing us was so much fun. I'm not even going to lie, Nick. So if you ever want to pop in and derail us some more, you are more than welcome to. Or we could get you on an official episode. We will schedule you for sure. But let me give you a rundown of what's to come this week, because we got a lot of things. And Professor may or may not have some homework he needs to still complete by Tuesday.
Man, I got the last 30 minutes of each because both of them were epics, but I'm much excited to talk about it. I loved it. I'm loving it. So
I'm so excited for you and JBL to talk about, what it was like. I have questions lined up, and I'm sure Adolfo will help lead the conversation too. But coming up this week, we got a pretty fun lineup. Tomorrow evening, Adolfo and I, part of the MLW crew, will be doing a watch along for MLW's aptly named War Chamber. Again, the last 24 hours have brought new meanings to some of these titles and words, but that is okay.
Good.
Yeah, so it's crazy. But Adolfo and I will be doing a watch along for MLW's War Chamber. This show aired earlier this month, but because of scheduling, we decided to still do it to get us prepared for what's to come Thursday. Tuesday is a big night for all of us here, because this is going to be our All Elite Ensemble CMLL Worlds Collide crossover special. We will be reviewing not only AEW Grand Slam Mexico, but we will also be reviewing the Tuesday's AEW and ROH versus CMLL show. This is going to be fun. It's going to be the Professor, JVL, representing Team AEW. Team CMLL is Adolfo and Will, and then I will be playing the Rocky Romero and bridging the two sides together. So the 5 of us are going to be in here. It's going to be a lot of fun. On Wednesday, we got a double dose of reviews at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We got the NXT review, and then later that evening, the CMLL boys will be reviewing CMLL's Fantastica Mania show, which was like 3 hours long. We did a watch along live on Friday. It was a lot of fun. So we are going to be reviewing that show. 9 matches in total. It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. Then Thursday, MLW is back with Summer of the Beasts. We have some fun matches announced. We are getting Matt Riddle defending his MLW World Heavyweight Champion against the originator of the Go to Sleep, in my opinion, Kenta. We are also getting Ultimo Guerrero of CMLL defending the Open National Weight Championship against Alexander Hammerstone. We're getting some Joshi Japanese wrestling. Our MLW tag team will be in action. It's going to be a great time. Then on Friday, we were back with the TNA reviews. We will be reviewing another fun episode of TNA as we are now building up to Slammiversary in July. And then we wrap things up on Sunday with Dual Dynasty, where we will be covering Raw and possibly SmackDown, depending on how worthy SmackDown is to review our time, depending on what goes down on Friday. But this is going to be interesting. So, yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff. And like Nick says in the chat, like and subscribe.
That's very kind.
Because we cover a lot. And
we also got Gmit in the chat. Oh, we got lots of chat in here. Hey,
we got lots of folks in here. Thank you for stopping by, y'all. We appreciate you. But we got to get up on out of here. So from all of us here at Dual Dynasty and BC WrestlePod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you, tomorrow for a watch along, as well as some other fun stuff. But until then, this is sayonara, adios, and remember, take care of yourself, take care of your neighbors, especially in these trying times. Take care of one another. And we will see you soon. But until then, talk to you later. Ta-ta for now.